Today I'm riding a GT Slipstream. It has a sloping top tube. The seat stay's actually got a bit of a curve to it too. It fits 700C wheels, it has cantilever brakes, and it's a 4130 chromoly steel frame. And I picked it up for $10. It's basically like an old hybrid or cruiser bike. It has backswept bars with quite a bit of rise to them. It came with this old Blackburn mountain rack, which I always quite like seeing. They're quite a sturdy rack. And it also has some bosses for 2-drink bottles and stuff too, which is quite nice for me. So it did come with grip shifters, which I'm not a huge fan on. But someone else fitted some Continental cyclocross tyres, which is a nice little upgrade. The drivetrain is nothing special, with being like baseline stuff. But the frame itself is really what I was after. You can see here it's in a bit of a state. So before riding it, I thought I'd give it just a quick tune-up just to make sure that the brakes will stop me and that I won't die or nothing will sort of break on me on the ride. So one brake spring needed a little bit of an adjustment, and then I found out that the wheel was actually quite buckled. I thought I'd just adjust this a little bit in just so it wouldn't rub the brakes. So really you should lubricate the nipples before you adjust any spoke tension. The nipple can crack, or you could actually round the nipple. So I took a little bit of the wobble out, not too much though, it's still definitely there. So the brake pads definitely weren't in the right spot. So cantilever brakes can be quite, I think finicky, we'll say finicky. They can work really well, but if they're not set up properly, then they don't really stop you that well at all. So some cool stop brake pads really help cantilever brakes performance, but getting them lined up properly and then the pad distance, setting the pad not too close to the caliper, but also not too far away, and at the right sort of angle, about 90 degrees to the brake caliper seems to be a pretty good ballpark for most of them. Some do have a slightly different design, so they're like a little bit of a different angle. But these Shimano ones seem to work best about 90 degrees. I also wanted to change the brake cable so that the brake levers were back to front. So in New Zealand, the front brake is on the right lever. I know this is different in the US. I just like to have the rear brake on the right lever, just basically because my right hand is my dominant hand. I feel a bit more comfortable using that for braking, especially when doing wheelies and that sort of thing. Just gives me a bit more control. I feel like my left hand is quite vague. I'm not very ambidextrous. So I changed these around to give me like more braking power and feel. It's quite easy to do because these brake levers and barrel adjusters have the slot in them, so you can just quite easily remove the brake cable and just swap them over to the opposite sides. So I'm not really a huge grip shifter fan, so in the final build, which I'll do after this video, I will be removing these grip shifters. Unfortunately, the new gearing system that I'm going to be using on this is also gear shifters. So I want to be using a Nexus drive system on this bike. I know it does have vertical dropouts, but I should be able to get it to work with a bit of maths and finicking around. I might have to use like a half link on the chain. Anyway, adjusting the gears, they adjusted up pretty nicely. Like the limits were off a little bit. The cable needed extra tension as well. After undoing the gear cable, I saw that this barrel adjuster was actually cracked. So I'm guessing some galvanic corrosion has stuck that barrel adjuster in place, and then someone has tried to adjust it and it's just snapped off. Not really a huge deal though, because the cable tension should hold it in place well enough to go from this bike ride. So I adjusted the high and limit screws and then just sucked it all back through. The cable still moves pretty nicely, so it shouldn't really be an issue. Just tighten it up and forget about it. Why? So while I was adjusting the gears, the grip shifter exploded a little bit. I should have pushed it up hard against the grip before I started adjusting the gears. But yeah, so the angle that I was pulling and turning the grip shifter on, it just sort of separated, because that's sort of how the grip shifter opens up. So I just loosened it up, pushed it back over, and then sort of squeezed it back into place, and it all came up fine. After that, the cable really just needed a bit of tension. Just mainly because the second to third gear shift was a little bit funky. So it's like it didn't quite want to grab. So a little bit extra cable tension would help that. And then afterwards, just making sure that it would actually shift up and then back down nicely. So I did just very slightly adjust the low limit. Just cleaning that out with the scribe just before, just to make sure that I don't round out the bolt or the screw when I try and loosen it off a little bit. So adjusting the gears didn't take too long, and then from there it was just a quick chain lube away. So this is the Joe's Sealants chain lube. Not really a huge fan. It seems to be really sticky. Like, it stays on there, but it doesn't stay clean. So taking it on the ride now, this is a gravel ride that I take quite a few of the bikes to sort of test them out on. This is riding through Ambury Farm towards the Watercare Coastal Walkway. This is in Mangere Bridge Township in Auckland. It's a really nice ride. There's quite a variety of riding. So you can do the waterfront towards Mangere Bridge, which is like asphalt. You can do this gravel section through here on the Watercare Coastal Walkway, which is about 14 kilometers return. And there's also some paddocks and stuff to mess around on. I'll show you some little bits which make the ride just that little bit more fun. This is sort of what I want this bike to do, along with a bit of town riding and stuff. So I'll be using a Nexus 7-speed coaster brake wheel on the rear. And then I think I'll put a cantilever brake on the front just for a bit of safety when I do the full build. So we'll have some moto bars. We'll also have some 700C or very narrow 29-inch tires. I've tried a 29-inch Vittoria Saguaro tire on the front, and it seems to clear quite nicely. It's kind of tight, but I won't be riding it through like extreme mud, just like little puddles and stuff. So I'm yet to try the rear, but hopefully something fits that's quite gnarly. I know it won't fit like a 2.25 29er tire, but it might fit a 1.95 or 2.0, fingers crossed. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the ride. I'll see you a bit later on to let you know some bit of feedback and stuff. But I hope you like this bit of a chill ride. Yep, so that doesn't do anything now. Actually, I'm glad I pulled over and checked, because turns out I just didn't do the derailleur bolt enough, I guess. Or I didn't have it clamped in properly when I was tightening it. Either way, should be able to get it back together even with the rope adjustment. balls. It's like just on the side there too, like just there. Yep, that's it. This is quite a nice cruiser, really. Cyclocross tyres, they're a bit narrow for my liking, but they certainly soak up some of the bumps and stuff that you get on gravel. As well as it having, like, as well as it having that super fat seat with padding over it, and then the suspension seat post as well. I can't really feel what the rear end is doing as much as I'd like, but it's certainly pretty comfortable. Sorry, Pukeko! Little baby one doesn't know what to do. So bits of this ride have been quite windy. I don't know how well you'll be able to hear me, if at all. If you can hear this, then it must be okay. So I thought I'd just enjoy like a nice leisurely sort of gravel route. This ride specifically is quite nice because it's flat and it's away from cars, so I don't really have to worry about the bike breaking down or what have you. So up here we're going to take a bit of a detour off to the left. This just basically goes on like a little loop around like a lake or like a reservoir. More gravel, but it's finer gravel. Clean them up if I can. Yeesh. Yeah. Ooh, bumpy. There's a little hill climb around here somewhere. So we could test out the low gearing. Another Pukeko. Okay. Just trying to get it. Yes. I don't think we need, this is the lowest gear, I don't think we need that. But we'll use it. Yeah, that front derailleur is not very happy. I think it's actually the inner part because it's one of those bottom bracket mounted ones. It looks like it's actually the inner part that's hitting like the chain or one of the chain rings. Because no matter how much like trim adjust I have, it always seems to hit. Like I can put like a little bit in and it doesn't shut it up. It's still hitting, so I don't know.
maybe we did need that low gear. Once we get up here, we got to go back down. Take a quick left, go up a few gears, wait for it to grab. So this used to be a secret for quite a while, but now, according to the owner, or the creator, the builder, we can sort of start telling people about it. So for the first time, I can sort of show you these trails without hiding the start and finish and stuff. So I'm not going to do the whole thing. I'm just going to do this section to the next road section. Basically, it's just like a little gravel pathway that links up to that path that we were just on. Yeah, not going to be going fast. So, according to the builder, sort of the creator, I guess you would say, of these trails, he wants them to be a bit more public now. So as I said earlier, the aim of this bike is to be a bit of an off-road sort of clunker-esque build. So I want it to be able to do some little off-road trails and stuff. Nothing too serious, but this sort of thing would be nice. Got that berm going up a bit better. Only thing is, these tyres are a little skinny for what I'm used to. So it makes these tree roots and stuff a bit sketchy with my weight. Oh yeah, he said he was going to get around that. Just get around those tree roots. Put the seat back up. I don't like really having the seat up when I'm going down, especially on a bike. I don't really know. Oh, I think short there. Oh, that didn't sound good. Sound like the tire side was grabbed by a tree. Like how he's marked out some of the potentially damaging parts, so you can make sure your tires don't lean over just there. And it comes out. So this is the trail that we're riding along that joins up to the waterfront part. You can keep going. So if you come straight out of there, you can go over and here into the left. I don't really have as much time as I'd like to today. I'm heading out, I got things to do. So that's all the single track I'm going to be doing today. Back to the gravel. But really, the gravel is what this bike is going to be sort of mostly used for. Definitely what it's going to be best at. I just want it to be kind of single track capable, so I can take like those little tracks if I want to. So some wider tyres would be really nice, sort of even out some of the bumps without reducing too much speed. Hello, Cookie guys. Didn't even hear that downshift, but it went down. Back to the gravel now. So yeah, the plan will be to try and put some wider tyres. I was given a Vittoria Saguaro, S-A-G-U-A-R-O tyre, which is the 29 by 2.0, so about a 50mm, 52mm tyre. We're going to try and put that on. I'll show you how that goes. And then get rid of all this. I could keep these bars, but they're a little bit too back and up. For me, I want to be a little bit further over the front. And then change the seat, a couple of other little things. Cranks, brakes, etc. Make it more like a bit of a clunker, I guess you'd say. Although technically a clunker is just like a single speed coaster brake, 26-inch old, like Schwinn or something along those lines. But yeah, I don't have a Schwinn. So every clunker or every Schwinn that I've had has been way too small for me. Then when I saw this for 10 bucks, like a Schwinn would cost me a couple of hundred to find one in like in any condition, unless it's one of like the new like 2000 plus sort of junky ones. Hey cow. Oh, you're having a scratch, mate. There's one up there. I don't know if you can see. No, you can't. Fuck it. Hello? 2000 junkie, so I can't really find one. So when I saw this pop up, all steel GTs in nice sizes of any model are hard to find here regardless. But this is pretty cool to me. Especially $10. It cost me $50 if he wanted to get it sent up here. I normally give Aaron a little bit more than that, just because it's a really great service. So if you haven't used Aaron's ride conveyor, highly recommend it. North Island shipping bikes around. Oh, wrong way. Just coming along here for the locals, if there are any locals. There's probably a few. There is actually more single track in here as well. He's marked it a bit better now, so you can sort of see it. So yeah, if you see any like red rocks like that with a bit of an entranceway, just jump in. There's really no wrong way to do it. There are some arrows, so you can follow like the way to go, but you can go both ways. People shouldn't really be going too fast through there anyway, because there's like kids and stuff that do it, so it's got a chill like community space to share and ride through. Pretty fun. Getting used to the grip shifters. Still really don't like them, but at least I'm shifting in the right way now. Ooh, that didn't sound good. Yeah.
So going over the plan for the bike again, so basically I've got that Vittoria tyre that I know fits in the front, I've ordered a Continental Race King to fit on the rear. It's a 2.0, so I'm thinking it'll be a little bit narrower, as Continental tend to run a little bit narrow. Even if it's the same size as the Vittoria, I think I can make it work. Maybe if I just dimple in the chainstays a little bit. This is it with the Schwalbe Big Apple 50C up front. It looks really, really nice with the 50C compared to the 35. I like a chunky tyre. Adds a bit of comfort, and I just prefer the looks of it as well. So the main goal for this bike is to be like a bit of a fun clunker, really. So I've got some moto bars for it. And I've got like the Nexus wheel, which I'll hopefully be able to get set up. Otherwise I'll just run it as like a single speed, and then run cantilevers front and back. But either way, it's going to be a fun bike. I'll be doing a cyclocross event on it as well, which is really just like a fun event. It is timed, but I mean, like any bike can enter, so it's nothing serious. So I think I'll get around to the build next week. I'm really looking forward to having it built up though. It's been a little while since I've had a Nexus build. I really miss having the coaster brake as well. So thanks for checking the video out, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!